Welcome, guys, to our first episode of Mindset Mondays. And today we're going to talk about some phrases that we might say on a daily basis and how to switch them to a more positive and a more wealthy mindset and type of thinking. Okay, so our first phrase is I can't do it. Okay, and I want you to change every time that you feel like stressed or you're struggling with something. I want you to change this phrase I can't do it to this one. How can I do this? Okay, because there's always a way, right? So you might be thinking that you can't do it right now, or whatever it is, but you can. You just have to find out a way to do it. So I want you to think instead, program yourself. Instead, when you're struggling, when you can't find a way to, do something, instead of saying I can't do it, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't achieve this, I can't whatever it is, switch it to automatically think how can I do this. Every time you're facing this struggle or whatever problem that may come, think how can I do this. You have to find a way and let yourself and let your mind look away and try to search for a way to accomplish what you're trying. Because if you're just saying I can't do it, okay, that's it. That's what you're telling your mind, that's what you're telling yourself, so you won't be able to do it. That's a fact. But if you change that approach, and instead you think how can I do this, you let your mind search for a way and search for a solution to make it happen. So first one, instead of saying I can't do it, I want you to change it to how can I do this. Okay, our second phrase is I can't afford it. Sometimes this is of course more into a financial aspect, but the difference between poor people and rich people or wealthy people is not only money but the mindset, this wealthy mindset. So if you just say I can't afford it, once again, that's it. You're just limiting yourself to you just can't, right? That's it. So instead of limiting yourself and saying I can't afford it, I want you to think it of this way. Once again, really similar to the first one. How can I afford it? Don't limit your mind to think on ways to do it. You can say, how can I afford it? There's always a way to do anything. So in this case, there's a way to afford what you're trying to, but you're not letting yourself figure it out, right? Because there's not only one way of doing it. It's just like, okay, I don't have the cash to pay it in just one payment right now, right? So there's other ways that you can do it. Well, maybe if I don't know, if you have a business, right? And you say, well, maybe if I run an offer for this product, I'm gonna lower the price, but in return, I'm gonna get more sales, and this way I'm gonna increase my revenue and whatever, and that way I'm gonna be able to buy whatever it is that I want, right? So that's one way that applies to anything you can think of. But first, you need to allow yourself to think of solutions. So instead of saying I can't afford it, I want you to program yourself and automatically think of ways of how can you afford it. Okay, our third phrase is it's impossible. We've heard this so many times, and I think we've said it, everyone, at least, 1,000 times in our lives. And once again, whatever you think is whatever is going to happen, right? So if you say, well, it's impossible, well, it is. So I want you to allow your mind to think there's another way. So instead of thinking it's impossible, I want you to think I will make it possible, right? It's once again just letting your mind find that solution and staying positive about the circumstance or whatever it is you're going through. So you might not be able to do it right now the way you're doing it, and that's why it looks like it's impossible. But remember that everything it's impossible until it's done. So that's it. That's what you need to find out, and that's what you need to do. If it's impossible right now, you need to find a way to make it possible. So you need to start convincing yourself and truly believe that you're gonna find a way to make it possible. So instead of thinking it's impossible, I want you to think I will make it possible, and truly believe it. You really need to believe it, otherwise it's just words in the air, and that doesn't really work. You really need to believe what you're saying. So make it possible. Number 4, it just won't happen. Well, again, this time you're just thinking it won't happen, but the importance here is that you can't just wait for something to happen. And that's why instead of thinking it just won't happen, you have to say, I will go out there and make it happen. You know, you just can't wait for things to happen. You have to make them happen. You know, so there's no miracles if you don't take action towards them. You know, you have to believe and trust that things are gonna happen, but at the same time, you have to do whatever it takes and whatever it's in yourself to make it happen. Take action to make it happen, and believe it's gonna work what you're doing. That's the great misconception, you know, because a lot of people say like, yeah, you have to believe, and if you can believe it, it's gonna happen and it's gonna be possible. Yes, that's true to a certain point, because the other part that you have to be aware is that if you do nothing to make it happen, the chances of this event or whatever it is happening are pretty much none, or you know, really slim. There's a real slim chance for it to happen, right? But if you take action, if you do whatever it is that you can to make it happen, to be closer for it to make it happen, you know, then that's it. You know, you have to believe that what you're doing, it's going to work. That's what you have to believe, not just like one, you know, in a miracle that's gonna happen, you know, one day to another. You know, life is hard work, smart work. So if you don't put your, you know, the effort and the time on whatever it is that you do, you won't achieve anything, as harsh as it sounds. So believe that what you're doing is gonna work. So don't just keep waiting, you know, for success or whatever it is that you're looking for to come and knock at your door and be like, hey, I'm here, thanks for waiting. That's not gonna happen, okay? So you have to go out there and make it happen. Do whatever it takes so that it happens, okay? Stop waiting. Time will never be right, okay? Number 5, it's too hard. Come on, man. It's too hard? Well, yes, it's hard. That's life. But you know what? It doesn't matter. You have to make it happen. You know, you remember that everything that's worth having won't come easy. Life is hard, but you have to be, you know, life is tough, but you have to be tougher than life in order to succeed. So instead of just thinking and whining like, oh, it's too hard, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it, or you have to change that thought and say, this will make me grow. Why? Because in every struggle, every time we succeed out of a struggle, you grow. In whatever aspect it is, you grow as a personal. It's personal development. The only way to grow is learning and failing. Every time you fail and you're willing to get up one more time to get closer to your goal, you're growing, right? Remember, I've said this time after time. Set goals so big that you can't achieve until you become the person that can. We have to keep growing. If you're not growing, you're dying. Life is all about growing and being better every day, being better than you were yesterday. Okay? So instead of just whining and saying life is too hard, you're not where you would like to be, your circumstances are too tough, that's life. And guess what? If you get out of that situation, if you keep grinding, if you keep doing whatever it takes, you're gonna grow as a person. Okay, so there's another quote that says, like, it doesn't get easier, you just get stronger. And that's the way life is, guys. So you have to be willing to fail and to get up again, because remember that every failure is a step closer to success. Okay, so every time you get out of a difficult situation where you thought like, man, there's no way I can do this, this is too hard, and you do it, you just go against everyone's thought or opinion, and you just do it, you just make it happen with the effort, the time, your energy, everything, and make it happen. Guess what? You're gonna grow. You're gonna get that personal growth that nothing else can give you. So stop whining, stop bitching, and start growing. Okay, last one. I don't have the time. Bullshit. That's all I can say about it. I don't have the time. Come on. Do you know how much time people waste watching TV? Just like, wasting their time on social media, like looking at whatever it is, just like really wasting their time, like sleeping more than they need to, or just doing nothing productive. It's hours every day. And this is 90% of people. Honestly, I don't remember the last time I watched TV. I had a TV. I wanted, the best TV. I bought a super ultra HD, a Samsung, curved screen, whatever. I'm not even exaggerating. I've watched it no more than 15 times in 6 months. 15 times in 6 months. Do you know how many times average people watch TV in 15 days? 15 times. Every freaking day they watch TV. And you think that's productive? You think that's because they're watching maybe documentaries or anything that's gonna take them closer to their goals, or they are learning anything of value? No, it's just wasting time, right? So whenever you say again and you catch yourself saying, I don't have the time, or I don't have time for this or to that, and you're just trying to avoid anything that might be hard, but it's gonna be better for you, that's gonna make you grow, that's gonna take you closer to your goals, I want you to think about this. Instead of saying, I don't have the time, you have to say, I will make the time because it's important. That's it. Period. If it's important to you, you will find a way to make it happen. You will make the time. We all have the time. It depends if it's a priority or not. So if it's something important, trust me, believe me, you will make the time, right? So next time you catch yourself thinking, well, I don't have the time, think about it. Think what you're really avoiding and think if it's something that's gonna help you grow. Sometimes, yes, it's hard. So, well, I have to do the chores, I have to maybe read a book and you don't feel like it. Well, I know maybe you don't feel like it, but guess what? That's what's gonna get you results, the results you're looking for, right? So maybe if you, I don't know, you might say, well, I don't have time to work out, you know, well, I don't have time to cook my meals so I can stay within my diet, or I just don't have time to read a book 30 minutes per day, right? So I can learn how to be better at this specific topic, you know, for my business, for my relationship, for whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. You know, every time you think about it and you say, I don't have the time, think if it's really important to you, because if it is, you will make the time. If not, you will make an excuse, like probably you've been doing most of your life, saying you don't have the time. Yes, you have the time. Believe me, we all have the same amount of time, you know, 24 hours every day. And there's people doing so many things in just one day, not making excuses. Why? Because it's important and they know this is gonna take them to the next level. This is what's gonna make them come out of the sea of sameness and really stand out. So guys, if it's something important, if it's something that you really want, and if it's something that you really want to make it happen, and it's gonna make an impact in you, an impact in the people around you, whatever it is, you will make the time. Every time you say, I don't have the time, it's a fucking excuse. Okay? You might better say, I don't fucking want to do it. I believe that. You know, you just don't want to do it. That's it. Okay. I understand that. But saying I don't have the time is just an excuse. Okay? So if it's important, make it happen. So that's it, guys. Thank you for joining me in the first episode of the Mindset Mondays. I hope this helps with your mindset and to get things right and to get you closer to your goals every day. Remember, it's not easy. It's never gonna be easy, because if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it, or you wouldn't really get that learning process or that growth, that personal growth out of every situation. So remember, every time you overcome a struggle, it makes you a better person, a stronger person, and it makes you grow. And that at the same time is gonna impact not only yourself, but the people around you. Okay, so I hope you start your week strong, and I'll see you next Monday.